snacks.
What is good? Loading Snacks Universe. Boy Jokes is in the building. Got the homie. You know, you guys know Marcus down there. You know my man. You know the base. It's the same as it always is. But we got another special guest with us today, sir. I'm gonna let you go ahead. Go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody out there in the Loading Snacks Universe for me.
What's going on, everybody? First name Sean. I'm just a regular guy in the street, you know. Play drums. That's my day job, I guess. Follow me at IG at Free Groove Nation, as you can see right there. But you know, I do like to do things outside of that, and I am a longtime wrestling fan. And
oh, you see, you had this show
kind
off.
of fan.
See, if I knew you were going to do that, I'd have bought my belts up here.
See, I didn't. When things just fall into my lap, like opportunities like this, then I have to do it. You feel me?
Hey, yeah, no blames right here. I'm the same way normally, but yeah, mine's are downstairs, nicely tucked. So
yeah. I just started my collection. So
mine's are safe on that in an Amazon case.
Dig it.
But yeah, so
hey,
I think
you started in a good place.
Yeah, my first match was, that I can remember, was Bad Blood 97. Y'all know what that is.
Okay.
Bad Blood 97. Now, there was some things earlier on from that, but I mean, Michael's getting thrown off the cage, Undertaker, Kane, like that was the thing that made me remember. I was like, oh, yeah, this is wrestling. This is this shit that I like.
I dig it. Hey, well, I appreciate you jumping in with us. I know it was a little short notice, but hey,
anytime.
I greatly appreciate it. Now, what brings us all here today? So, it's WrestleMania weekend, y'all.
WrestleMania.
The biggest show in all of sports entertainment. And it's a good day because we're getting it for 2 nights. 2 nights. Starting night at 8. And for you guys that aren't familiar, I know there's a lot of you out there that have been watching. No, we're going to be doing this for 2 nights in a row. We're going to be doing these prediction shows today and tomorrow to sum up what we think is going to go down. Now, night 1 in itself has a pretty good slew of matches that are going to go down on there for it. Now, what I'm going to do, let's go ahead and switch off. So we're not gonna beat around the bush. We're kind of just gonna jump right into this. So guys, for you guys that are watching at home, I'm gonna pop these matches up on screen. So as we kind of talk through them, you'll be able to see who's actually going to be wrestling in these matches, and we're gonna throw our predictions out there for it. Now, for us, and I feel like some of these matches we kind of all may have some similar opinions on, but I definitely think there's maybe like 1 or 2 matches in here that I think we're gonna have fights about. I got that feeling that we may have.
It's not so much about the result, but it's about the how at this point.
But I dig it. So let's go ahead and kick things off. So WrestleMania Night 1. We're going to start with the non-title matches first, and then we'll work up to those. So the first match on the docket that I want to go ahead and take a look at for us to discuss is the Tag Team Turmoil match between Naomi and Lana versus Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, versus the Riot Squad, versus Natalya and Tamina, versus Billie Kay and Carmella. Now, the first thing I want to say before we get too far into this one, why did they have to pair Billie Kay up with somebody else? Like that's. I thought we were trying to do this.
Reasons.
She needs the money, fam. It's like they gotta do something with her.
But she had the perfect tag team. She was in the perfect tag team. The Iconics were iconic.
And they broke that up. They broke it up.
They just like they broke up the Hurt Business. I mean,
we will not talk about that right now. That is a whole
New Day.
I'm sorry.
No, we can have a whole show about the Hurt Business. I'm upset. We won't. We're not even going to go into that.
They don't like black folk to succeed in large groups.
Just not for long. I'll say that.
But
because I got something for that later. Anyway, continue.
We'll keep that one in the tuck. So now let's go ahead, like right off the break. Let's start with you, Marcus. Who you got going down for winning this match?
I kind of view it as a throwaway match, so I'm just going to say off the top of my head, just like looking at the available choices, if I had to choose, I want Mandy Rose's team to win with Dana Brooke because I feel like Riot Squad, we've kind of seen what they can do. Like I'm glad Liv and Ruby Riot are back together and they're on a steady progression. But I want Mandy Rose to actually do something eventful with her with the time that she's there. So I would want them to win, and
Mm.
then like because Natalia's already been like a champion. It would be nice if like Tamina actually gets like an actual championship belt, but we already know that's not going to happen. So I'm just going to go ahead and say Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, even though it's kind of funny that Tamina's never won a championship, but Nia Jax has won multiple. You know what? We're not going to talk
Just want to let that one be for right now. All right,
Mhm.
all right. So we got one there. Sean, who you got for this match?
So, if
What's
I
good,
may,
John?
first of all,
Okay, I think we got.
well,
Who?
so
You glowing right now. You
I
glowing.
want them to win simply because I feel like this has been their plan of all along. Like somehow, some way, they needed us to like Lana. After everything that's kind of happened, they wanted people to like Lana again,
Mm-hmm.
and so they pair her with Naomi, and it's like, well, I mean, who better to get people to like you than being tagged with Naomi? And they've been on a steady little rise. Now, I think everybody kind of here deserves a better opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as this particular show, I would kind of like to see Naomi and Lana win just to be like, ha, yeah, I don't know. Because if they don't win, I feel like anybody other than Tamina and Natalia, which that could possibly be a dead end too. Like just knowing WWE, who's gonna hit the dead end? The Riot Squad dead end. Sorry, I like them,
Not
but
sorry.
just how they book, I like their idea, but I just like how they're booked and how they're going to continually be booked. Dead end.
Whoever this is, I hate the way this is
Yeah,
popping up now. No one can beat Nia and Shayna, so it doesn't matter who wins. So
honestly,
It's so
I can.
funny that both of them have actually hurt people, like as a tag team, just like putting people like having to go through surgery because of the moves that they do.
right.
It's kind of crazy when you
It's
think about
kind
it.
of wild. It's kind of
All right,
wild,
so we
but
got Naomi and Lana for you. So cool.
yeah,
Um,
I'm looking with them.
see, I'm gonna go a little bit out the box. Like you did say this, but I think the Riot Squad. I think having them back together, like out of all of them, I get with the way they
They
pair
need
them
it the
up.
most.
The Riot Squad to me out of this batch is really the most legit tag team out of
Yeah.
all of them. Honestly, like they've had the chemistry since they've been together in
Let's
the
see. Hold
beginning.
on. Yeah, they're the only
Um,
actual tag team, that came in as a tag team.
I
Well,
feel
not. I
like,
don't.
yeah,
Maybe
like I
it
feel
is.
like Natalia and Tamina is just kind of like how you said, like it's just like they're paired together, but it doesn't seem to go anywhere. As much
Doesn't
as
really work.
Natalia has been champion,
Tamina needs to be solo.
Tamina, I feel like could be a monster when she's solo by herself, but we know it's
Tamina,
kind
nobody's
of
made it.
it's not going to happen. But definitely out of this batch, the ones that stand out to me is still the Riot Squad, and I'm going to put my money in their basket. As much as Shayna and Nia are destroying, I feel like there's going to be more of the outsmarting piece that's going to happen when that match happens on night two. So whoever ends up facing them,
It's gonna
out
be a distraction finish.
yeah, it can't. It's not going to
Let's
be
just.
just the out strength like this is going to be an outsmart victory, like because just
It
straight up
has
against
to.
the two of them powerhouses,
And
it's not going to work.
I like for it to be some sort of like actual tag team outsmarting, but then what WWE feels is outsmarting is, hey, distraction. I have to look now because all that ultra focused I was just 2 seconds ago,
They hit him with the
just like
Cleveland
that.
shuffle.
It's I
Wait,
just don't understand it, and it's
I
gonna be
mean,
Nia that gets
you think
distracted. She's gonna take the fall
she's going to
because
take the fall?
Shane is not taking the fall.
Now, I mean, John was like, What if Billie Kay comes in with a surprise tag partner?
She already has a surprise tag partner,
I mean, it's
Carmella.
Carmella. I mean, hey, now I will tell you this: if for some reason Carmella gets the beat down for whatever reason before the show happens, and she got to pick up a second partner, and and when we get the Iconics back, I will say this right. I will 100%. I will change my opinion. I will change my pick, and it will go from the Riot Squad to the Iconics. If by
Yeah,
some chance
Iconic.
that would
you
happen,
know,
so that those are my picks. So if Riot Squad happens, it's going to be them. But if the change happens somehow and Billie Kay gets partnered back up, I'm switching to the Iconics.
I believe
But
it because that was
but
that would actually make sense.
that's another legit tag. They're a tag team together. They're
Yeah.
perfect.
But isn't
Cool.
Peyton Royce already in a tag team with someone already though?
You said which one?
Isn't Peyton Royce already in a tag team with someone though?
She's been doing that thing where she's been like auditioning, like passing out her her resume with her picture and everything attached to it, trying to get picked up or whatnot ever. I thought, no,
That's
that was
Billie
Billie
Kay
Kay.
That's
though.
That was
Billie
Billie
Kay.
Kay. I'm tripping.
Billie
That
Kay.
was Billie Kay.
Yeah, I
But
could have
no,
sworn Peyton Royce.
Peyton's been doing solo stuff for the most part. I don't think no, they did pair
I
up.
can't remember the last time I seen her.
For a brief moment, they did pair her up with a tag team, but she started going solo again. So I don't know. I don't want to see it. Let her, if they're going to do solo, let it run solo. I think her and Billie could do solo runs. Definitely Peyton, I think, would have the better part in a single competitor.
I would have rather them, like, if they're going to break up, just like not do it because of what was the reason again?
Peyton turned on, if I remember right. I think they lost, and I think it was Peyton that they had that fight.
Yeah, but
they squashed it. I remember it was just like the draft, and then they broke up the Iconics.
That's what it was. It was a draft. That broke them up.
Literally broke them up.
Like,
yeah, and then that's what it was. And then they had back on Raw Underground when they were backstage, she threw Billie Kay in the ring and she got whooped.
Yeah,
and that kind of is what broke it down from there. Yeah, the mic drop was fire. Like Peyton had that fire on there for it. But okay, cool.
The Aussies know how to work that microphone, man.
Hey, I dig it. So we got all three different opinions there. So I like where this is going. We're going. Someone's going to be right. Somebody's going to be wrong. We may all be wrong actually on this one, but because there's too many choices here.
Sin, if you're in the chat, I'm going on record right now. If Edge does not win the championship, I will not talk shit about One Piece for a month.
Just a month.
Oh, let's see what my man Ty in the chat. Jokes, I had the Peacock app, but haven't really used it. Is it true they have WWE content I can watch WrestleMania tonight? Sir, the 100% answer to that question is yes. Because you know why?
How much content?
The reason why the answer is yes is because you can't watch it on the WWE network. Here in the US, WWE network is pretty much it's dead now. If you want to watch any WWE content, you are on Peacock. That's where you gotta be at.
$3.99 if you have Comcast.
Yes, it is. If you got Comcast, it is free.
I just happened to pick up the Peacock. I think it was like
and on PlayStation
$2 or something. It was a deal.
Yeah, the 4 months for $9.99.
Yeah, there you go. Boom. And I was just like, after WrestleMania, I don't know if I'm keeping it because honestly, the amount of content that they're keeping is like this is stuff that I've seen before. So
but
not seen before, but like it's not stuff that I really want to watch. So and it's not necessarily all the racist stuff that they're getting rid of. But like I just watched a lot of wrestling and I want to rewatch certain things. And they're probably just not going to keep it like that because it's too close. It's too closely related to something controversial. Like I wonder if they're keeping like the whole Ministry of Darkness angle where they tried to sacrifice Stephanie and Stone Cold.
I think that may make it, but some of there are some things that I know they're questionable.
Like, is it just the racist stuff? Because if it's just the racist stuff, I'm cool. But then eventually, how far are you going to drag? Because they're going to drag the line because they're going to be made to clean up some other stuff that rightfully should be taken off.
That Booker T promo where he says the N-word.
Oh no! We won't even go into that. Nah.
But they won't. But I bet you they didn't erase that whole angle with Triple H and Booker T.
Don't even. That's a
But
whole nother route.
I bet you they kept that angle where Vince is like walking backstage. He says the N word.
Nope, we ain't even gonna go into that. We're gonna let that one. We're gonna let that one be. That's a whole nother conversation.
Whole other conversation.
We can have that. We can have that another day. So let's go ahead.
JTG and a crop top.
We're gonna jump into the next match. That'll be a whole. That's a whole another thing we can do.
RP the shot though.
Next matchup on the list. Still sticking with the non-title matches. So Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon in a steel cage match. So I want to. I'm guessing now, maybe since Undertaker's gone, is Shane going to try? Are they going to try to make Shane the replacement just to put on Mania to jump off or something every single year? Now is that
I just thought that he was the stunt monkey guy already. You know, like
he's the big man stunt person.
He is basically the stunt monkey for WrestleMania, and while I'm okay with that, a steel cage, like that limits. I mean, unless you pretty much, Braun is probably going to throw him through the cage, and he's going to win the match.
I don't know. I feel like since it's Shane McMahon and he's all about that money, I feel like he's just like he's going to win the match due to interference.
I guarantee.
If they make it interesting, cool. But the entire build up to this has been
you're going to get these
something.
hands.
Yeah, it's just been like hands, Nickelodeon slime, more hands.
Choo choo train.
Yeah, choo choo train and hopscotch is like, what the fuck? What is actually going on?
No
like
worries.
It's frustrating because you see them tell good stories, and then you also see them tell the really, really bad ones
at the same time.
And they tell the really, really bad ones with their chests. Like
hey, you got to be confident in your product. So
hey, if we're going to have a throwaway match, we're going to make it the best throwaway match ever.
Like, because you think about it, the Triple H versus Booker T match. I'm sorry to bring it up again, but that was a lesson. That was supposed to be a lesson where, hey, you get your comeuppance if you're this kind of guy. And I feel the same kind of build up for this. And I feel like they're going to let us down the same way again. Just thankfully, it's not for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh God, don't even. All right, so let's put some definitives out there. So Marcus, who you got taking this match?
As much as I want to say Braun Strowman, I'm gonna say Shane just because I think he's lost like every WrestleMania that he's been back. No, there was that one that he won, but he's been losing like every WrestleMania match like since he's been back mostly. So. Like I feel like they're going to give him a win just to like keep him around. I guess.
Yeah.
Sean, what you got?
I want to say Braun Strowman because that should be the obvious choice. But like I said, I just feel like they don't have anything for Braun right now. Ever since the Fiend thing, they don't have anything organically for him. So what better way than to have him feud with Shane McMahon, who just does this with all the big guys. It doesn't do anything for Shane to fall off another cage. It doesn't do anything for Braun to beat Shane because
it's Shane.
So yeah, another throwaway match.
I dig it. I'm going the opposite. I'm going with Braun. I'm tell you exactly for what you guys just said is what's going to happen. Is I think Shane's going to go for that moment, but I think this is the year it backfires. I think instead of deciding to either whether I'm pretty sure he's going to try to climb out the cage to win the match, but he's going to change his mind. And he's just going to try to jump from the top of the cage down and hurt Braun some more. And I think it's going to go left. And just because of that, I think at that point, Braun can put the hands back on him and finish him. I'm putting my money on Braun.
He got to go through the ring. Like, that's the only thing he can do to make this match worth it. He's got to go through the ring.
Yeah, I want to see Braun attempt to climb out the cage. Like, I think that's going to be.
It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
I want to see Braun, but I don't know, because if he comes crashing down, That's gonna probably
Right.
implode. That'll probably implode the ring
Jokes.
just by
When is
himself.
the last time you seen a big man climb up a cage?
I don't know, but I want to see it. I mean, we've seen
Like
we've
a
seen the
Roman
steel
Reigns
cage,
superplexes.
does
like
not
the Hell
count
in a
because
Cell, a
he's not a
steel
big
cage.
man. Roman Reigns is not a big man, so he does not count.
Oh no, I definitely don't count Roman, but I think Braun would try. I think what's going to happen somehow,
I
just like you
think he's
said,
gonna go through that front door. He's gonna kick that door. That door. He's gonna fly off its hinges, and he's just gonna walk out.
he's going to end up having to probably rip it off. But I feel like
Shane is going
whoever
to challenge him to a race.
is going to be, oh god, whoever is going to help possibly interfere and help out Shane, probably block that cage off. Maybe will forces Braun to try to climb out, but. I don't want to see a massacre. I don't need Braun to fall from the top of the cage and go through a table. I think that is good for ratings, but I don't want to. I don't know if I'm ready for that.
As long as it leads to something with some interest, introduce a new face, a new something. I don't care, but it has to lead to something, or else.
Hey, jokes.
Yo.
Sidebar. Whatever happened to the Fight Club?
Oh,
They just said.
Oh no, they scrapped that whole Raw Underground thing. That got scrapped.
That doesn't exist.
Nah,
they did the Men in Black mind wiper jump.
Yeah, that just it went away. Like I like the concept, but I didn't think they executed on it the way
they weren't able to actually execute it. Yeah, because for it to be like a Fight Club, they can only go but so far. Like they tried to have the little Nitro girls. I saw that. It
didn't work. If they'd have tried that, like probably in the Attitude Era day, I feel like something
even,
like that
even
could
Ruthless Aggression Era.
Yeah,
that would have been.
I think something
good.
like that would have played out, but just in this time, like it just didn't make sense. I get that, and that was Shane's way back into the show, but we can skip that. All right, so we got our takes on that. Next match we got on the docket, we have Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. Actually, let me put some risk. So we're gonna say the King of Swing versus. I don't know if we're getting the Monday Night Messiah. I don't know if we're getting Seth freaking Rollins. Like I don't know.
Agent 47. Look at
Agent 47. I don't know which version of Rollins we're getting for this match. But for this one, and this is one of those what I was talking about before we got on here. That
King of Swing all day.
I want King of Swing. I want Cesaro.
Swiss Superman.
I need him to win this match. Cesaro has been one of the most underutilized. Like they've used him, but it's like he's lost everything. Like I loved him
of someone else.
When him and Shinsuke were a tag team. I actually enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that, but they didn't really run with it.
The man's a phenomenal tag partner for whoever they put him up against, whoever they tag him with.
You put him in the ring with anybody, and he's gonna put together, a product worth putting out, and that's why I do want him to win.
And either way, individually, like Cesaro is top tier. Like I love Cesaro in the ring, like technical aspect, just the powerhouse. Like he has different avenues that he can explore, whichever way he wants to go with it. The bar, yes.
Yeah, the bar was definitely
his best thing with him and Sheamus. I absolutely love the bar.
I do agree.
They even did the
fusion. They did the fusion dance. They sold me on the fusion. And I love how they build up. Like when they first started doing it, it was like, ooh, you guys are off. But eventually they started getting
the drip was there.
But then it was like, oh yeah, we did it.
We practiced. But Cesaro, like I'm ready for Cesaro to get back into a good role, whether it's going for the Intercontinental Championship US at this point. I'm ready for him to step back into a major title picture. Like this is later on. We'll get to this, but like say obviously Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre, I feel like he's one person that could potentially fight them like almost on even bar, because my man got some strength to him.
Right. I it's very deceptive how strong, because he just doesn't look like the big strong guy, but it's like, he can lift with the best of them. I'm like, he just didn't strike me as that at first, and then I forget now who it was that he swung that just had me like,
he swung the Big Show.
That's what. Yep, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I figured it was a big show. I overthought it. Yeah, it was definitely the big show. And
I think he swung at least everybody that has been healthy or not healthy on the roster at least one time.
the reason why I didn't think that was because the last guy I can remember that I just didn't realize was that strong was John Cena. And I'm like,
Oh.
John Cena, John Cena's super swole.
Steroids.
He's super the guy that Vince likes. And
He's
Cesaro,
a bodybuilder.
he's not I feel like he's just naturally
Puts
built.
bodybuilders over everybody. If you've ever done bodybuilding, he puts you over unless you're Alexa Bliss.
Lex
No,
Luger.
even Alexa
Lex
Bliss,
Luger.
bodybuilder.
She was
Lex
bodybuilding at one
Luger.
point. She was bodybuilding at one point. All right, so we're all good. So we're actually all in agreement on Cesaro here. So I like that.
I mean, shout out to Seth Suit Game though. Like that's been one of the most entertaining things
Seth
every
Lane.
week. Yeah,
I'm eager to see his gear. I'm eager to see his gear for
right.
Mania.
I definitely
like my man
am,
said,
he always knocks it out the park for WrestleMania.
He come clean to WrestleMania, so that's going to be another thing to look out for. All right, let's move on to the next match. That is Bad Bunny and Damian Priest versus The Miz and John Morrison.
Hey, hop, hop.
Now, I get this is where WWE channels the entertainment side, and we bring in Bad Bunny. Now I give Bunny some props. Some of the spots that he's been doing over the last few weeks have actually been kind of interesting.
Right.
And I think it's mostly with the Miz and Morrison also helping to sell certain pieces of this.
Right, they're perfect for this.
It's a perfect fit, and I love it. And as much as I want to go with Miz and Morrison, this is going to Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, and honestly, this is going more towards them because Damian has gotten.
You got to.
He's getting. I feel like that push is going to come. He's gotten some of those handoffs, like him eliminating Kane in the Royal Rumble. That was essentially one of those passing the torch kind of moments right there.
I think he rode with Edge once.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Yeah. I remember that right.
Edge return match. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, he's definitely got some seeds planted there. And it's like you got to, man. Like you're gonna have all this crossover stuff. You got to make it worth it. And
he's the new Hispanic hype. So,
right. Now, like I said, now it's all about the how. How does it go down? Do they
and
put Miz and Morrison through a car?
Had, his build as a Hispanic person,
right?
In a while,
we need, and we definitely need that back.
So, yeah, I will give it a Bad Bunny and Damian Priest as well. But The Miz, his showmanship is unparalleled now.
Unparalleled, man. He's been taking all of this on the chin like a champ.
If you go back and you look at his wrestling talks promo to Daniel Bryan, that is the best promo he's ever done in his entire WWE career. And as much as it is scripted, I felt that. I believe it made me believe that is how he felt. And in some way, I believe that's how he actually felt.
It's probably rooted in truth. Yeah, that's the only. I feel like that's the only way. If it's got to be rooted in some sort of truth to make you feel it like that.
And I think I remember seeing it backstage on E Entertainment or whatever, where he talked about that moment. He was like, "Yeah, we had scripted that, but then I needed I think he said he went to talent and was like, am I on the card this week?" And he was like, today, and he's like, no, we have nothing for you. And then they put him on Wrestling Talks. He was like, I'm the Intercontinental Champion. How come I don't have a match? It's this is a prestigious title, full of history. What are you guys doing?
What are you doing?
And I kind of feel like that right now with the IC, with both the IC and US title. I feel it's severely undervalued. I'm happy Big E has it, but it's I want.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that, but I feel like we can go on about that for a while. So I'll wait till we get to that match.
That's tomorrow. Yeah,
that's tomorrow.
We're gonna get to that because those two belts, like they
Because I have a
mean
I have a joke that I
Wakanda
need to get out.
forever.
I have
they
a
have
joke that I
heavier
need to get
meanings.
out.
They have heavier meanings, and I would like to see them explore and use that all. So, all right, so cool. So we got. So is it all of us for Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, or is it 2-1?
I'll
All of
go.
us.
I'm
All
going.
we're all on it. Cool. So we're either gonna be all right or all wrong. I like those. No in between there.
Hey,
I like that. All right. So let's move on to the next match. Now, let's get into championship territory. This is where meat and potatoes start to come into play at. So
good.
first one we're going with is for the Raw Tag Team Championships between, of course, the champions, the New Day
New Day.
versus AJ Styles and Omos. So let me tell you how I've been waiting for this day, for this dude Omos to actually finally step in the ring and just manhandle somebody actually in the ring.
I
Now,
want to see it.
like I haven't now. I didn't get to
I
actually
have
see
a
my
bad
man.
feeling that this man is just eye candy. It actually is going to underperform. I have a very bad feeling like this is his entire run is about to be
Yeah.
disrupted.
So, like I said, he doesn't need to be great. He doesn't need to be doing flipping from the top rope. He just needs to be a guy that doesn't blow it. Just don't blow it. That because you got AJ Styles in your corner. Just don't blow it.
That's the
But
facts.
also this will be his AJ Styles first run with the tag team championships, and that's all he needs to complete the what
Triple
hat
crown.
trick, the triple
Mhm.
crown. So at that point, you see from a motivational standpoint why they will win. And the New Day, they could just pick up and be champion anytime. It really doesn't matter whether they have the belts or not. They are who they are.
Hey, the New Day
And
is who they are, and I love them, championship belt or not.
right.
The New Day is one of those that can just be the face and can entertain regardless.
Right.
And I absolutely
That's a
love
special
it.
position.
And it's
That's a
all
special
because of the
position.
power of positivity.
The power of
Outside
positivity. You hit that right on the
and
money.
big meaty men slapping meat.
Biggie, like, what did you say? Like, but I'm all about what you just said. Like having AJ as your tag partner, I think one as for your career is absolutely phenomenal. I had to do that.
I see what you did there.
But I am a little afraid of seeing what we may get. Like I didn't actually watch him. Like I know he has some NXT stuff that he did. I actually didn't. I didn't get to see that. I think he kind of transitioned relatively quickly. I think he had some small dark matches that they did on NXT, and then they ended up just pulling them and doing the whole pairing. Well, they brought him up and did the Raw Underground segments with him first, just having him be the bouncer, perfect fit. I mean, who is going to try to break into someplace with this dude standing out front?
Exactly.
But then when he got paired up with AJ, I was like, it's perfect. Like AJ typically always at least has that one person, one or two people. Like I miss Gallows and Anderson. Like I loved having them surrounding AJ.
But he's both of them.
But he's both of them.
I can't say he's both of them because they actually have talent.
Talent wrestling. I'm just saying he's built like both of them.
We're not gonna say that. We're not gonna do that just yet. We gonna see what my man can do. I'm putting faith in him.
Bro,
like I said, we just have to temper expectations.
I can see it right now. It's going to be clotheslines, scoop slams, and some sort of spear or spine buster if we're lucky, or maybe a power bomb. That's
I'm good with it.
I'm okay with it for right now.
Big man doing what a big man does. Like he comes in here to destroy and dominate. So if he comes in here and he does that, and then when it comes time for the quickness and all that, you tag in AJ. And you get him in there. I'm good with that. That's how you work this. That's why you're a tag team. You do these type of things. He comes in here to demolish. He comes to demolish, and then AJ just comes in and cleans up. I'm cool with that. So that's where my pick is.
Or he turns on AJ and he wants to do his solo thing. This is also a possibility.
Oh yeah, almost joins a New Day.
AJ gonna fire him? Is that what's gonna happen? Are they gonna lose? So now in that case, are they gonna lose? And AJ's gonna criticize him. And
I mean, yeah, because AJ doesn't know him, man. You don't know him like that, man. But the New Day,
I love
they
the New
know
Day.
him.
Like,
They,
look,
they 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 know him.
the New Day is the New Day. The New Day has that special place
I'm
in my
doing the
heart,
power of positivity.
and they will stay. And they will stay. But I'm giving it to AJ almost for this. I think let's groom. Let's get my man. Let's get my man almost something like I want to see what he can
Yeah,
do other than just throwing people out of the out of the match or out of
out
the
of the
ring.
Thunderdome.
Hold on, what we got?
Welcome to
Oh
the
man,
Thunderdome.
as
Yeah, Sid
long
Vicious. Sid Vicious. Oh
as
yeah,
long as he
man.
doesn't break his leg, that's just a success. I'm
That's
pretty sure they're
actually
gonna
kind of
tell
true.
him. I'm pretty sure they're gonna tell him, "Don't you dare climb that top rope."
Don't be a
Right.
Nia Jax.
Don't, don't be. So, is this one? Are we all in agreement here? Are we all
Yeah,
in
then
agreement with?
you're all in agreement here.
I dig that. So, we got a lot here that we either gonna be all wrong together, or I'm digging
I
this
feel
right
like
now.
if you don't change the title, like you have to do something else drastic, and they've already kind of done that by hurting both of them. So it's just like, well, what else can you do? Let them have a run with the
True.
titles. They'll have them back in a month.
Hey, but you know what? They may not, because you know what? I know now with WWE and G4 having this awesome thing, maybe Kofi ends up going back and partnering up with Big E at some point, and we see that
Right,
variation
you
of the
know
New Day
that,
tag team, which I'll be cool
Hashtag
with.
give Kofi his rematch.
Kofi
and then
deserves
we,
his rematch,
yeah,
and
he does.
we may see that eventually come about. But I know
Never
WWE
happened.
is going to lean heavy into that partnership with G4, so I think we may see Xavier take a little time off from on-screen wrestling to kind of do some things on the game side now. And
Yeah,
as
I
a
can dig it.
gamer, we're all gamers here, so
Right.
I'm eager to see how that
Hashtag go
plays
check
out
up
too.
up down down on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Free sponsorship, by the way.
All right. Let's move on to the next championship match, which will be for the big prize, the WWE Championship between Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre.
Oh Lord.
Now, I'm excited for this match. Now, with the way everything played out, um, I'm happy Drew got his time. He became champion. I wanted that. I wanted him to have it. But then we got thrown in, and when the Hurt Business showed up, I think we all kind of had this like, okay, we got the tag team champions here. Bobby did pick the U.S. title up for a little bit, but I was like, he was missing that one piece of the puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't initially think he was going to end up getting the WWE championship. I kind of thought that was going to be one of those waiting pieces that they were going to do, and that was probably going to happen here. I didn't think originally he was going to get it beforehand, but let me tell you how that put a smile on my face. Now, I kind of want to see this feud actually going a little bit longer than WrestleMania. I think there's some potential that they could keep running with this for maybe at least another pay per view or so, just at least to get the rematch in. But I'm pretty confident Bobby's losing that belt tonight. It's going back to Drew. Um, Drew's gonna get that moment. Like, hey, he had a moment last year winning at WrestleMania, but ain't gonna be nothing like my man winning that belt at WrestleMania with actual fans in attendance. There's a difference. But
Mm-hmm.
I think with Bobby, I think him losing the belt and then actually giving the potential to go back for it or end up going over and going for the Universal Championship, one of the two. I think Drew is going to pull this victory out this year at Mania. What y'all think?
You want to go first, bro? Or?
I'll go. I'm actually gonna go against the grain, and I'm just gonna say Bobby Lashley's gonna retain.
Got Bobby.
So okay, as
You're
I
the
was kind of
tiebreaker.
saying,
You're the
as I was
tiebreaker.
kind of, I was as I was saying earlier, like I feel like with how they book divisions right now, like if you had to list out five, six superstars maybe, of who would have a shot at the WWE title, they kind of run through those really quick, like, and that forces them to drag out certain ones.
Mm-hmm.
Because of this, I feel like that Drew is going to get the title back for them to go kind of like a back and forth thing, kind of like what they were doing with John Cena and Randy Orton those years ago. Something where we don't have a lot of guys that we trust in the title picture for reasons that I will never understand. Because quite honestly, like there should be way more guys in the title picture than the guys that we keep seeing getting rotated in and out. I remember remember number one contenders and like how
Mm-hmm.
you actually were supposed how you actually had to win a match to be a number one contender.
Now it's
And
I'm the number one contender.
now you can
He's the
just
number one contender. Get
I'm
in,
the
get in
number
there.
one contender, and that really takes it out for me. Like that's how I got invested behind guys like Stone Cold and The Rock. They had
There's
the
a build up, an
It was a
actual like
build
build
up.
up.
Like that was another thing, and I think this will probably tack on to what I say about Sasha and Bianca. Cause God, you have
Oh,
two guys that
please.
just want the best. That's all you need. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But I'm gonna say Drew wins. I feel like there's going to be some sort of something. Like I just don't feel like it's going to be clean, in the oh, he just hit him with the Claymore kicking and 1, 2, 3. Like something's got to happen, or else this makes Bobby look like a chump. So
I don't know. I think the two of them. I think they can put on. I think this can be a clean victory here. Because
because then we
the
just get the point to the Hurt Business being the reason for it, and I don't want that. Like because Bobby he deserved all of that from the time that he came in. Left, and he
Mhm.
deserves all of this
Which
on
is
his
why I'm
own
gonna say
merit,
he's
not
gonna
the Hurt
retain.
Business, not because he was a member of the Hurt Business and they helped him.
Mhm.
Like that can't be like the only factor that you can kind of like just zero in and be like that's what it is. I don't want because that's just bad storytelling to me. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Drew, unfortunately, and I just hope that they find a way to rectify not keeping the Hurt Business together. Figure it out, and you better figure it out quick.
Hey, I think there's. I think we'll get a Hurt Business version 2. I think I I love the Hurt Business and I love what they did. MVP. I have to
Is
give
the
my
MVP?
man. I have to give my man props because just from reading different articles and everything, my man went to bat to pretty much establish
Yeah,
the Hurt
yeah,
Business and to get this established and run the way that they wanted to. I have to give him props
right.
because if you look back, and this is a funny one. TNA MVP and Bobby were both in there at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and there was literally almost this exact same setup
Exact
going
same setup.
into I believe it was Bound for Glory. It was
Yep.
it was literally almost the exact same setup. My man MVP even was on crutches then too, which is real funny.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's
but we
crazy.
had that's this same setup. And I think let's say, you know what? Let's say I'm gonna go and say I'm wrong. Let's say I'm wrong. Let's say my man Bobby does retain. I think we get that Hurt Business version 2 and we build on it. Like I'm the guy that likes the factions. Like I know there's a lot of people
Yeah,
that
I
don't
love action.
necessarily like factions the way they
I feel
granted they're
like
not.
factions make wrestling what it is. Like if you think about it, the Four Horsemen, NWO, the Nation, like they're all
Yes.
there. All of those, like yeah, DX, they're all cornerstones, and the members individually are all cornerstones of wrestling. Like you,
Mm-hmm.
I just don't feel like you don't get guys like the Undertaker who can, do things on his own. I honestly think the Ministry was a bit of a like I like the concept, but putting him around all those guys only to not make him like the number one guy was a detriment to him. Like that whole era was just weird. He had this vicious gimmick, but then at the same time he was I don't know. So yeah, you get factions, they make up what wrestling is to me. So I mean, if you don't like them, That's cool, but I feel like the Hurt Business was one of those much needed things to give Raw like an identity, because Raw needs an identity. Goodness knows they got a 3 hour long show and don't know what direction they're going in half the time. So the Hurt Business gave them, something like they could have been running Raw Underground right now as like the Mafia basically.
They had
And
it.
because
That's not child
they
friendly.
had it. Like, they couldn't might not have done much with it, but that was a possibility. That's what I'm saying. And then, now do I want the Hurt Business to turn into the NWO in the 2000s? Absolutely not.
No, we will.
Absolutely not.
I don't think we'll. I don't think anything will ever get that far ever again.
I don't think I don't want Naomi to join the Hurt Business like as a heel. Like, I don't want it to go.
No, she's not going to join the Hurt Business. She's going to join the table.
Yeah, the table.
Now,
yeah.
I will say that would be interesting though. But think about that.
Right.
If she joined the Hurt Business and somehow these two sides could end
she's
up
not gonna let Roman do all that hoo-ha and shit.
What's up, Ellis? You supposed to be here, Ellis? Man, we
Ellis, where you at, bruh?
We miss you, man. You were supposed to be here.
Now, that's what he was saying. That could be a work because technically there was like the Hurt Business is barred from ringside. So MVP being the MVP of the rule book, he'll be like, well, they weren't a part of this. Was on their own volition. Hey,
it can go twist a different way.
You could, that's how you could play it.
Or if that's the case, you may get a random Sheamus out of nowhere bro kick.
I feel like they climaxed that already. Like, if they do that, then it's just, does he go back to Bobby Lashley? Do we go back to, either way, we're going back to something.
Or random Keith Lee.
I would accept that, because at the very least now we have the next person, the next champion's next opponent. Like, that's what I was hoped for, but to go back to someone who, like I said, the division is already less of a division and more of a take this ticket here and wait, I guess, so yeah, guys like, Keith Lee, someone who hasn't been on TV in a while, comes back and be like, hey, I want to, but you have to make it interesting. Like, that's the only thing. I don't
think that'll be a problem. Like,
you just can't. Yeah,
Keith can definitely work a crowd. Like, I give him props. Like, when he comes back,
he can work with both of them. Like,
hey, it's something as simple as your music. When they change your music and everybody comes together and is essentially going to form war. I think
music is trash.
Now, I personally think the reason why I didn't mention Keith Lee first is because I think that they're going to hold out on him until a little bit later, and that's if Bobby retains. I think now, like, they will hold on to him.
Strowman.
Yeah, because like right now, I don't need Keith to necessarily right now be directly in with WWE Championship or the Universal title. Like, I am cool with him. Now, getting up there, being on there, and being between Intercontinental and
I just want my man
title.
on TV. Like that. Like, I want him on TV and, going up like he was doing, before. I forget, like, what happened. I know he got hurt. But before then, it felt like he was just.
Yeah, I know. Mia.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they probably quarantined whatever. But as of now, I know it is. He's going through some type of injury or something. That, they're not really open and saying what it is. But like, I want my man heal up. I want my man come
healed
back,
up, healthy, and back on track. I
want him back on TV. Like, I dig that. So, all right, cool. We can keep going on that. Like, we'll stick with it. Now, let's get to the main event. The main event of the night, which I was hoping this was going to be the capstone of one of the nights, and then they confirmed it. I was really excited off of this, but it is for the Women's SmackDown Championship between Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair.
Hello. All right.
So I was already super excited to have the match on the card, but to find out this was going to be the closing of night one, I was super excited.
Man,
no Charlotte in the picture.
I was like, ooh. I'll wait my turn.
Charlotte's good, but no Charlotte. I'm good with that. But I'm very excited for this match. Sasha and herself, of course, but Bianca has proven since being in NXT, from NXT and all the way up to now, that she is that dominant force to be reckoned with, and a legitimate dominant force to be reckoned with,
And an
uh,
actual number one contender.
in being a number one contender for the
Right.
championship. I don't even need to. I think I know where y'all are at, but I think we had a conversation before, and I think somebody was the other way. But I'm 100% behind Bianca Belair in this one. I want to see this. Like, don't get me wrong, I have nothing against Sasha at all, but Bianca has
EST is the wave.
It's the
has
way. It is the way.
it is the way. I've heard that in a minute now.
Right.
But she has proven that she deserves to be in that main event picture more times than one. Even having her pair up, with Street Profits, obviously her husband in the Street Profits, initially bringing that in and having her kind of edge on the Raw that way, it was cool. But then they started kind of giving her own personality to be herself again on Raw. Like, I am all for it. That is 100%. If she doesn't come out of WrestleMania as a victor in this, I swear she better turn heel and beat the ever-loving crap out of Sasha Banks when that match is over.
Hashtag remember Thanksgiving.
I'm bubbling now. Look, man.
But she is my 100% pick. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. Bianca Belair is my 100% pick to walk out of Mania
to be
as champion.
Hashtag
I'm cool with this feud for a little while. I wouldn't be mad if this bled over into the next pay-per-view. I see what my man Tony.
Nah, that's not her hair gimmick. That's her life.
He gets in the way of flute.
Right, let her rock out.
So I will
away with whacker shit.
I'm on both sides of the fence. Like, I do think the hair gimmick, I think that's her, and I think she makes it work. I just get afraid that at some point that it's going to interfere the wrong way that it should. Like, I think it works, and as long as they can continue to make it work the correct way, like, she sells it. I know that is her thing. I think that's her decision. Maybe down the road, if she does decide to do the heel tactic, that may be that, kind of like what Bayley did.
Right.
That may be that definitive moment that she cuts it off to show that evolution and that change. But I am good.
She's black. She not cutting off no hair.
Right. Like, come on.
She's black.
I am good with the hair gimmick. I have no issues with it at all. Somehow I feel like that will be used in that evolution when they decide to either change the character or do whatever for it. But as of now, I'm cool with it. I mean, she ain't going to use it to choke. Well, maybe she eventually will use it to choke somebody out. I don't know, but I'm cool with it.
Why not?
I don't have an issue with it.
I'm on to. But anyway. Oh, it's my turn?
Okay.
It's my turn yet?
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
It slows action because it gets in the way.
Sasha submission win.
Okay. Submission win.
Okay. Anyway, so my whole thing about this is you got two great athletes, two black women great athletes, and they're finally headlining WrestleMania like this. First time, definitely is making history. This is the one that you don't overthink. Don't overthink it. Just like I mentioned earlier, how it was, Stone Cold and The Rock, their build up to WrestleMania, what, 17?
17, one of my favorites. Yes.
Legendary. And there was no, there was a little bit of shenanigans in there, don't get me wrong. But the fundamental part, the fundamental thing about it all was, I need this more than you. And that was, they just kept it simple, and it turned out to be legendary. And what's got me, even though I know that the match itself, is going to be a banger, that's no question. But the build to WrestleMania 17 on top of the match itself being a banger. It was just like total package. The build to this match has been overthought. Like I really for a second I was honestly thinking that Reginald was going to be an honest to God piece to like make Bianca lose or something. And I
That again?
still deep down in my heart, I really feel like that they're going to at least try and pull that. While that might not be the reason, they're just gonna try and throw that in there for some reason. And this is a match that just needs to be clean, straight up. Let them go. Don't riddle
Let
it
them
with a
fight.
whole bunch of stupid shit like y'all do on a daily, on a weekly basis. Don't do that this time. Just let them go. Let them fight, and the result will be what it is. But like, I have a feeling I'm going to throw something at my TV, and oh boy, I'm gonna need. Boy, I can't be sober tonight
Oh,
because that's gonna hurt.
I don't know if you
just have
guys
everything
realize this,
nearby.
but like when it comes to the women talent are in their own attitude era. So I feel like the way how they overthink the men, they're not doing that with the women because the women are their hot commodity.
Right, and it's just that they say that in one hand, but then as you seen with the tag team turmoil stuff, that's what the time that they give them, because they honestly they could have had a much better build for the tag team turmoil thing, and it probably would have. But if you just throw a whole bunch like that one, what was that SmackDown? Not this week, but last week, where all of them just ran in at once, and it was just like, well, you're on Raw. Why the hell are you here? When you treat it like that, you know, now it's just like, well, how do you really feel about us? So my thing with the women's division is just like, once again, there should be a lot of women in the women's division being used as a for the main title picture. For instance, when was the last time, besides this, when was the last time Oscar actually had to defend her title? And that's because she's beaten everybody like 6 times over.
Yeah.
6 times over. And when you have, and this was before the draft, so you had other superstars that you could have at least thrown out there to the wolves, but
Let's see what we got.
well, what's the next comment?
This is
This is no way
no
close to Ronda,
Ronda
Becky, and Flair
Becky.
closing the show. Drew
Yo, we're
versus
not gonna
Dolly will
talk
probably
about
be a
that
better
WrestleMania
match.
match, dog. Like that. We're
Hey,
not gonna.
other than the ending, like I had no problem with that match. That match was fine. I was there for that. So that I I enjoyed the hell out of that match. I know the ending.
This
Everyone's
not
a
my show.
little, but that match definitely had the draw. It had the fire. Like I think this one it could be there, but I don't think they built it the way that they did the Ronda, Becky, and Flair. Because I'm telling you, when they built that, and actually that was here in DC when they had that fight backstage and was that Baltimore? That may have been Baltimore. I don't remember which one it was. And they had that whole falling out in the back, destroying the cop car, like they got arrested the whole time. That
Right.
was that whole entire segment just gave me like that the Austin vibes, the Rock vibe. Like I had that all in that package. Um, Obviously I know with things and the way that they're playing out now, it's you don't necessarily you don't want to, I guess, build it the way that I feel like it doesn't matter. You should have been able to build it the same way and execute
Organically,
it.
because it was already organically being built. It was just the first is two black women headline in WrestleMania. Like, we didn't know it at the time, but I mean, I knew. I was just like, they're gonna headline. Like, this is history.
I
They
knew
have to
they
headline.
won.
My man,
They
yeah,
had to.
DC, yeah. I was like, I knew it was here because if I remember, I think then something I think was it SmackDown. I think was in Baltimore because I think they ended up chucking them cars on it and took it with them. If I remember right, it was something weird. I don't know. But I knew it was here. But that whole build up was just absolute fire. The way that they did it. Um, I'm hoping we see more, like take more of that element and work it back in. Before we close out, like the one thing, and I may be I may be indifferent about this to a lot of people. I like what how they do this now with having like multiples of the like, tag team championships, multiples of the WWE, but at the same time, I don't like it that way. I kind of miss the old days where kind of how you talk about like the number one contender, having the one championship, having the one big belt, and then you had all the talent and doing these different ways to build up to it. Um,
Well, I like multiple titles. I just think, like I said, if you're gonna
Has to be
have,
done right.
it has to be. You have to separate people into.
Division.
This is yeah, divisions, kind of like how you did how we used to do in SmackDown versus Raw. You know, there were certain people who had enough clout to challenge for the world title, people who was only in the IC bracket, and so on and so forth. Now, when one guy loses his title shot, he goes to the back of the line, and the next guy either gets a shot, or the next two guys they fight it out for a shot at the title. It's got to have some sort of synchronicity to it. Like, if these matches that we're having on Raw is to determine the number one contender, we might need to start actually saying that so that these matches seem to have some sort of meaning. But then again, they don't even really do that. They just have the same guys wrestle each other for up until the pay-per-view, and then they give us some new matches. But it
I mean, it kind of was. There was still elements of that same thing even back in the past. It was like you would have your main event, whoever it was. They would whether it be tag matches or if they wanted to merge the fighters of the heavyweight championship with the fighters of like the intercontinental champion. Like they did that.
you
Like
could have
that
moments
was
like
something they
that.
still did. And I never was upset about that. Like that was one way you could still have the same people but kind of differentiate the matches a
Like
little bit more.
I'll show you. I'll tell you one. Shelton Benjamin was a guy. Like in 2004, you still kind of had a feel of the division kind of thing, and he was IC champion, and that time where he had a chance
Tag
to
team champion.
tag. Yeah, but at the time, I think he was actually IC champion, and so because of that, it felt like he was breaking. You felt the breakthrough to the world title, that moment where he beat Triple H. It was like, oh, this guy really, he just broke the mold, broke the ceiling, and now I can go into the world title picture now. It kind of shows you like there's meaning to the IC title. Once you win that and you get enough clout with that, that'll boost you up to getting opportunities in the main event. And that's what I feel is like they're alluding to that, but they went so long without having that like, nah, you can't just allude to it now. You have to go and you have to reestablish that this is how shit works.
I dig it. I dig it. But so overall, I think we're all on Bianca Belair. I think is where we're at.
Yeah, I love for them to let the natural story tell itself. Sasha Banks is her
Mm-hmm.
own entity at
Yeah,
this
and
point.
this is a big one because I know I was aiming to say this, but like this is why it's kind of limited working at one time. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's facts.
it is very limited right
And
now.
I'm
I mean,
I'm
they did let go at least like 30% of their roster.
doesn't no even though now like, yes they did let go of some people, but that roster is still deep.
Right,
I
the
don't care
roster
on
is
both sides.
still.
The
They
roster is
had
still deep.
everybody who was a integral part of what they had put
It's still
together in
there.
the last few years. They're still there. So the people that they let go, although there's some might be some fan favorites,
Mhm.
ultimately
The
they were
roster is
just a
deep.
cog. They were a cog in the wheel at that point.
And so they
And
can definitely there's definitely going to be more. I think after we get
Hashtag free
um
Aleister
out
Black.
of out of Mania and we start fresh again. I mean,
hashtag we ain't catering.
obviously coming out of Mania and going back now that we're able to start having fans at least in Florida as of right now, having fans back at shows. Um, I think we may start to see that little bit of change start to come in, having the different faces show back up. Because I mean, well, that's the typical thing after Mania. It's NXT call up time.
Right.
Tears. I this is
That's tears and
I'm
butterflies because I just don't know what I don't know what
I'm
to
hoping for good things. Like obviously, I'm expecting to see my man Finn possibly come back
come
up.
back.
Yes, bring Alistair.
Yeah, good
But
lord.
like I just hope with things starting to shift back into a very small normalcy.
Pseudo normalcy, and don't let the pseudo lose you at the door.
Yeah, because we're transitioning, and we'll see some different things. But I mean, it is Mania. Everything after Mania changes. We start fresh. We bring over a couple feuds. We still keep it. Then we bring in some fresh faces. So obviously, Raw after Mania is going to be a thing as usual. So I'm waiting for that. And well, actually, let me rephrase that. Raw and SmackDown out of Mania. Back when the shows won, it was just like you could just say Raw after Mania, and everything was just crazy right on there for it. But
I got one more thing. I'm sorry.
No, go get one more thing.
I have to let this out because somebody said this yesterday, and so we seen Becky Lynch post the picture, and she posted a picture on Instagram, and the caption, it was like, I guess it was song lyrics or something, but the capital letters started spelled out Night 1. I swear to God, if she interferes in this match, I'm going to riot.
No, I don't think she'll interfere. I don't think she will
show
interfere.
Up at the end, do what you want.
I think she will show up at the end.
Actually, no. Don't take away from Bianca's WrestleMania.
And that's true too.
WrestleMania moment by doing that, because
she'll probably be there. Like let's be.
You
real.
can be there, but
I think she will
turn
be there
into a spectacle for yourself, please. And I actually like.
I think that would happen on night 2.
I would prefer it on night 2 because Rhea Ripley needs somebody to fight,
and that's true too.
Oh shit! I just kind of spoiled my pick for that, but whatever.
It's all good. We get to it tomorrow. But like, look, if she shows up, I feel like it would be something even before the match. I feel like she will probably put the two of them on notice that, like, look, I don't care which one of y'all wins. It's like, I'm coming back. I technically didn't lose that belt, so I'm coming back to fight for it. So I wouldn't be mad if she just put, or for that matter, she just puts the whole women's division back on notice that, you know what, I'm back. It's that time again. Like, I'm cool with that.
You know what? Save that for the Raw after WrestleMania. You know, they're gonna need something big to happen, and I feel like that should be it. You know, I don't want you to take away from Rhea Ripley's WrestleMania moment either. You know, don't take away from either one of them, because both of them deserve it. And boom, Raw night 1. You can have, hey, we already know who the number 1 contender is. We don't have to go through the roundabouts, I guess, in a sense. That's how we're doing things. So I guess, you know, since she never lost, of course, we have that storyline. So
I dig it. So I dig it. All right,
it still doesn't make sense because she never lost the title, but gets a rematch. But Kofi can't get a rematch.
Man. Hey, look, Kofi's gonna get his rematch. I need it to happen, but it's like I didn't need it to be against Brock Lesnar again. I didn't need it to be against Brock.
Rematch. Right. Kofi is gonna get his rematch if canonically he wants the rematch. Like they made him
stay tag champion. Stay with the New Day. I'm cool with that. But I want my man to get tag. I did not need him going up against Brock Lesnar again. I do not need to see that. And I swear to you, if between the two of these nights,
like that wasn't a WWE thing. That actually was not a WWE thing. That was a Fox.
That was a Fox thing.
Oh no,
they wanted that to happen.
I'm well aware.
100% hip as to what happened with that, and I still feel the exact same way about it. I don't understand
the Republican Network.
It's just like you gotta understand, bro. Like, if y'all put on a 5-star, not even a 5-star match, if y'all just put on an actual match, y'all would have had more ratings.
Vince doesn't like Kofi not happening. Yeah, I know we kind of.
I believe it.
It doesn't matter if Vince doesn't like Kofi. Triple H likes Kofi.
Triple H will take over eventually, but we'll cross that. We'll have that discussion later. But gentlemen, I appreciate you guys taking the time out and kind of dissecting and going through these matches for night 1.
Oh yeah, man.
It's just a little over 2 hours, about an hour. We made good time about this. I think that was pretty good. I think we got some solid picks. I'm gonna go ahead and tally up. I think I need to make a post. So we got our picks. I'm gonna make sure no one flip flops. Other than the one, if you want to make a quick change. Obviously, if a match changes, I will give you guys permission to potentially make a change, because we always know something happens during Mania and we get a switch up somewhere. But I think we got solid picks.
I'm really safe. I think I'm safe with my picks regardless.
Safe with your picks.
Cool. But unless somebody gets a broke
It-
leg before WrestleMania and they got to walk
Someone
down
gets
that
beat
long
down or
ramp.
something like that. I think cool. I think we all got solid picks, so I'm gonna go ahead and tally. I've been tallying everybody's picks out here, so it ain't going back. So I got these
Hey,
bad boys written
it's
down.
funny. Like I'm looking at my night one prediction. I was like, Bobby Lashley retains. Okay, that's what I said. Bianca Belair, she wins, new
Mhm.
champion. That's what I said. Osmos, new champions. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Damian Priest. That's what I said. The only thing that is different from my prediction is the steel cage match with Braun Strowman. I have him winning on my predictions, but I said Shane McMahon only because I know the McMahons.
I know that's what I'm saying,
ain't
bro.
doing
I
the
think
same
that's the
thing.
only match. That's the only match that I feel like it should be 100% knock it out the park home run. Easy
All right.
pick.
Well,
But
we'll see. Either I'm
that's
gonna be
just how they do
I'll be the
things.
standalone victor on that one, or I'm gonna eat that one. You guys are gonna have that one, but. I appreciate you guys taking the time out to do this with me. Right quick, if you guys want to just go ahead, we always encourage. This is a family here. You follow. I know you guys do certain things like Marcus. I know you got things going on. You can kind of give the run in the middle of that. Sean, you can do the same thing, and I get a normal thing before we get off of here and wait till tonight and then get back here tomorrow. So have at it, gentlemen.
Go ahead,
Go ahead,
brother. You
bro.
go first. No, you go first. You go first, man. I'm
Oh, well,
shy.
thank you, bro.
I'm shy.
Thank you, bro. It's your boy. You already know it's your boy Trinidadian G of OV Corporation on Twitch, which I'll be going live right after this. So if you want to hop in, I'm gonna be playing some Outriders. Shooting things, killing things. But I'm also co-founder of Arcana Legends, which is a comic book and TCG. We already did our first issue, working on issue number 2. Link for that I will put in the description down below in the chat box. And yeah, thanks for having me.
Dig
Also,
it.
for life, Bullet Club.
Look up. Hey, I love it. Different show, but we gotta have a conversation about that later.
Too
We'll
sweet.
get there.
Oh man, OVO Corporation. He's a corporate guy. See, I'm more of a for the people. All right, so I put my socks and my pants on one item at a time, just like everybody else. Like I said, I like to play drums. Y'all will see that on my Free Groove Nation. That's my thing that I made up. Hopefully it'll turn into a business one day. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just kind of like going
But
with it
if
right
it makes a
now.
business, that's a corporation, though, isn't it?
I technically, but I mean, I still got to make my money. Like I said, I'm still for the people, always for the people. If you understand that.
I dig it. You guys know Jokes here, Loading Snacks. You guys can find us on social media everywhere at simply Loading Snacks. You guys will see me back here tomorrow. Same batch here. We'll probably have one additional person on with us tomorrow to go over the night 2 predictions. I'm eager to see where we land and probably give some ideas, maybe what we think is going to happen on Raw come tomorrow as well too. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to park because I gotta get ready to go out. I gotta get some food. I gotta get some stuff because I am not leaving and moving or budging from my living room once like 6 or 7 o'clock run around because we're gonna get through this night 1 and it's gonna be an amazing thing. I'll tell you now, it's gonna be so nice to have that live audience in the building. Like I know they've been doing it, but this is gonna be special. It's in a football stadium.
Right.
I know it ain't gonna be a packed house like it normally would be, but it's just gonna be something special about tonight, and I can't wait to experience this once again. So, gentlemen, thank you once again for joining. We'll be back here tomorrow, same time, 1 o'clock. Give our night 2 predictions. Make sure you guys be watching in the chat. Appreciate you joining along, but until tomorrow, we shall catch you later. Stop it.
Hold it high all the time.
I'll bring mine tomorrow.